Hey guys, welcome back. Jared and Braxton from 3C's Recreation, and today we're going to throw an IMS gas tank on a new 2026 Beta. I do have a video on the channel of us just doing a fuel filter in a stock tank, but I've never shown you guys the complete process of actually installing an IMS. So my suggestion to you is if you have an older bike and you're putting a tank on it, I would go ahead and do a fuel filter while you have this apart because it's all going to be laid out on the counter. Do not buy the fuel filter off of the Beta parts diagram. It's super expensive and it does not come with the clamps. Beta, in the accessory tab or the shop now tab, you can buy the actual fuel filter kit. I'll put the link in the description below. Only sales pitch in the whole video. If you guys are buying your parts on the Beta website, betausa.com, if you could please put 3C's as your dealer, it helps us out. We get a small commission. Your parts orders are not any more money, but we make a small commission. So part number for the fuel filter will be in the description below. And second part of this real quick on part numbers is this is the new IMS tank. It fits the new Beta shrouds. These new shrouds cup in a lot right here. And if you have an older gas tank, an older IMS tank, it may not work with the new shrouds. So this is the new style. If it's 2025 and newer, I'll put this part number in there as well. It'll also work with older bikes. I don't think currently you could order the older tank anymore. They took that part number off the website. But if you have a buddy that has an IMS tank, make sure it's going to work with your bike because it's getting trickier and trickier with Beta. Things are changing. So this tank is cupped out to fit. That is my intro. Oh, come down in here, Brax. This was the bag it came in. It came with the tank. It came with the clip that we're going to use to unlock the fuel hose, a new gas cap because it's bigger, and then the bracketry. So this is everything it came with. Let's show you how to get all of this apart. We're going to do, don't mind, there's no shock. We're lowering this bike. It's getting a 2-inch lowering kit, so no shock, no exhaust. Seat just comes off. Those are super simple. You have 3 bolts. You've got your gas tank bolt in the back. Brax, I want to show this one real quick right here, right in the middle. Once we remove these 3 bolts, there's going to be a couple wires and a fuel connector that we have to disconnect. So there's one. It's loose. I usually just kind of let them sit right there. Second one is going to be the shroud bolt down here. And there's going to be 2 of these, obviously one on each side. So I will drop this one. I will do the other one. I won't make you watch it. We'll come right back. So I got the shroud bolt off on the other side. I spun the bike around. And the first thing I like to do before we do any lines is if the bike's been started, this line could have some pressure in it. So I like to wrap it in paper towel. And I'm going to pinch the connector because it'll spray gas at you. You can't tell at all what I just did. See how wet the rag is right there? I'll show it better when we get it off, but basically I pushed in on the clip on the back side and let the fuel line come apart. Look how much gas would have been on me. So paper towels come in handy. Now all we do is rock the gas tank up a little bit more, and you can see, can you show this right here, Brax? That is our fuel pump power, and then you go up further, and this is our low fuel light. After that, I think pretty much everything is just going to come straight off. It is so much easier. These new gas tanks, they did a great job removing like the map switch that is in the bar pad used to be down here. That was horrible. And then there was like a vent tube completely gone. So let's get this thing on the counter. So I went ahead and drained the gas out of the bike, and I'm going to strip this tank. This is your seat catch in the front. And then I'm going to use an 8mm and I'm going to get these shrouds off all the way around. This is nothing exciting. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's only 5. So I'll get these 5 bolts out so the shrouds come off and I'll come back. With the bolts out, I can take, it all kind of just falls apart. So shrouds are off. Obviously we're going to reinstall that. We do not reuse, this does not get reused. So let's not go back on just the shrouds. So let's have a look at, this is the main part of why you guys are watching this video. So 2 spots here for the fuel pump, and then this is our low fuel light right here. This is an easy transfer. If you look straight into the bottom of this tank, here is our low fuel. So this is just a simple 2 bolts out, 2 bolts in. I'm gonna do that last. I'll pull it out. I'm gonna get it out of the way because I don't want like this probe in the way of me doing everything else. So let's get this out and set it on the table, and then we can jump right into the fuel pump. So again, just 2 8mm. My strong suggestion to you guys when you're doing this, when you're putting it back together, please, please, please grease these bolts because these are just brass inserts in these tanks. And so many times people are stripping these brass inserts out. So bolts are out. And you got to be careful because the bobber plunger thing is almost identical to the same size as the hole it comes out of. So don't just rip on it. Don't let it bend. So here's our low fuel light, and we're just going to set that off to the side. And now we can start working on the fuel pump. What you're going to notice is on these tanks are both upside down, both facing forward. What you're going to notice is on the stock tank, one portion of it is on the, I don't know, left as we're looking at it. The IMS tank, it moves over to the right. So don't be shocked, don't be worried, but this thing is now going to be over here on the new tank. So all we're going to do is I'm going to undo, there's 4 on each portion of this. 2 are screws and 2 are nuts. So they're all 8mm. You can take them out. I don't think there's a difference in length. I can keep the piles separate just in case. And I'll get these out real quick. This part is easy. The installing it maybe is a little trickier, but if you watch this video, we'll make it easier for you. So, oh, let's look in here real quick. Let's just show you. You can see everything. See how it's okay if stuff is like wound up. See how it's like kind of in a circle down there? And it's kind of just zung all over. That's all right. So don't be, oh, we just got some gas out. There's a little bit of extra gas in the bottom there. So we'll get this off and get that one. So that's not really going to come out on that side. You can see how I just pulled out a little bit. This one down here though, I'm going to do the same thing. We'll get these 4 out and we'll be right back. Okay, just to confirm for you guys, all 4 of these are exactly the same. The nuts are the same, so don't make special piles, you're all set. So all 4 are out now, and I'm gonna pull out on this, and I'm gonna carefully kind of rotate it. Let's see. If I can push that down in on the other end. So here's our connectors, right? And so that's where our tool's gonna come into play. I better get it out of the wrapper here. So this is included, and what we're trying to do is we're gonna get the barbs apart that are holding these fuel lines together. So I sneak it down in there. Got the one side in. I'm trying to do it on film, so I'm being a little clumsier. I'd like to be where you guys are, position-wise. Okay, so now it's in there, and now what I have to do is I have to push in on it to separate right there, and then now I'm gonna wiggle the fuel line apart. So there's always gonna be a little bit of fuel. It's just what we're doing. You can see how it fit on there, and the teeth down in there, it separated those. So there's one. Now you can't mess these up because one is male and one is female. We're not hurting anything. This doesn't want to give me a little bit of extra. I would love a little bit of extra pull here. Let me try pulling this out and spin it. Yeah, see how balled up it is down here? I'm gonna spin this a little bit. You guys are going, what is he doing? Oh yeah, dude, look at that. So we have one connector. I'll get that out of the way now. In a perfect world, I wouldn't have had to spin it, but no such thing. So there we go, it's in there. I'm gonna push in. As we splash gas all over Braxton. And there's that. So that portion's off. I'm gonna get my tool off and it's gonna fly in there, and that's fine, it's gonna pull back. So what we're gonna do now is I can pull this portion of the fuel pump out, and I'm just going to rotate it so it comes out nicely. And this is where, if we were doing, if this was an older bike and you got, 2 years old or whatever, that's where you would do the fuel filter right now. We're going to pause to do a JPEG, so that way I can get you guys to watch this. So give us 1 second here. So we paused to make a JPEG. Hope you guys like it. Hope you guys clicked on it. Obviously you did because you're watching it. So, okay, so this is the back side, that pinches everything together. There's one here and one up here. This is the tricky part. This is where you have to get the bolts to line up evenly and push in on it. And you have to rock this a certain way to get it to come out. So I can't really, okay, I let go of it. It's free in there. And I have to spin it and then rock it out. And let me do it, and then I'll demonstrate on the outside what I did. If I can get my fingers to grab this. Okay, so now I've got it, so I can grab it. You have to spin it just right, and you have to come this way with it, and then rock it out. It cannot be this way coming out. It has to be, I'm gonna say the tank's upside down, but it has to be, these have to be facing the top of the tank. Otherwise, it just won't come out. So there's one. And I'm gonna put that with this one because these are different sizes. So that's with that one. And then this one, I'm just gonna plunk it down in. And now I gotta go fish and find it. So this one's the wrong way. It's facing, the bolts are facing upwards. I'll try it because the other day when I did one, it did not work. Yeah, see how it will not let it out? It's because the bolt is hitting here on the inside and doesn't let it have enough bend to it. So I just flipped it with my fingers, trying to grab it. And you gotta like get it so it's, this one's super tight coming out. Let me grab this screwdriver and we're just gonna encourage it to come out. So if I remember right, yeah, you can't mess this up. They're completely different sizes, so you're not gonna do anything wrong. Okay, they're out. This tank is completely empty. Fuel level gauge is out, fuel pump is out. I've got everything I need. I may need that rubber grommet in a minute. Now we've got our new tank right here. Let's start by getting this one fished all the way into here. We'll start with that. We're gonna get this one put in there. It's in, and now I'm gonna tip the tank. There it is. And what I like to do is we're gonna grab it, spin it, get these holes lined up. And I'm gonna take one of these nuts and we're gonna put it on there to hold it in its place. So that one's gonna stay there. And now we can come back down here. We can grab this one, grab it, spin it. Oh, see, there we go. I can't go in that way. It's gotta go in this way. If I would watch my own video, I would know that. Let's see. See, the problem with the IMS tank is there's these little knuckles in there, like because they've got these two bolt holes right here, and on the back side there has to be like resin or gas tank material to have them go somewhere. So this one is a little trickier. You have to really work it around. Okay, here we go. Yes, there it is. Okay, again, we're gonna throw a bolt on this one as well. And then now we have our back, I'm gonna call them backing plates, I don't know, pinch plates. They are in, and we can start with this big guy. I'm gonna grab one tool real quick. We're back. So this is gonna be fun because we have to fish this in there. Oh gosh, sorry, Brax, dumping gas on you again. We have to fish this into the tank and get it to come out there so we can connect everything. So you can kind of see how it wants to go. If we kind of start, you can see it in the tank a little bit, working its way down. And so what I like to do is grab like a long screwdriver or like a long elbow tool. And I just want to get all of the hoses to have the same idea, and they do. You can see how they're all kind of like facing down right there. They're all kind of coming this way. And I'm just gonna try to guide it. I'm not pushing on it, I'm not hurting it. Oh, somebody's calling the shop early. Probably somebody with a beta tech question. We get a lot of phone calls. Yesterday it was Portugal, it's kind of cool. Let's see. So this one is being super stubborn. It's facing exactly the wrong direction. And if I spin that 90 degrees, it puts it on the other side of the tank, so that doesn't help. We're close, we're just not in the right way. So it didn't take very long, actually like 2 more seconds. Probably could have kept filming. And we're gonna connect these fuel lines, and it's important to get them in and get them nice and tight. So there's a good fit there. That one's nice and tight. On this one here, get this one in. And I like to work the gray piece back up to make sure the teeth are biting again. So we'll get those in, nice clicks. And then we'll get our electrical connector done. And then we'll start sliding this back together. So I took an extra minute to make sure that these weren't gonna pull back apart because this is fuel injection, it's got pressure on it. So sometimes what you can do is you can see the gray teeth in there. If you work your tool in there, let's zoom way in on that real quick. Okay, you see like that little gray tooth in there? This tooth is what's holding the clamp in. If you sneak your tool down in there, you can kind of push you don't want to hurt this. Make sure those clamps are, all 4 of those are nice and tight and biting on that, because if you start to spike, it could push those fuel lines apart. So now I have a lot of extra fuel line that I have to work with. So I'm gonna sneak this all back in here. And usually I don't twist this portion of it, right? We just get this in. For some reason it's taking its time. Okay, now this is where people can get frustrated, is installing this, because now we have this and we're trying to push this into it, but the backing plate wants to fall away. That's where I have this cool little tool here. I'm gonna get a pile of these over here next to me. So here's what I like to do. I like to take this nut back off because it's obviously in the way. I'm gonna set it on the side. I'm gonna take a screwdriver and I'm gonna put it on one of the threads. So now I cannot push back in on that. It's gonna stay out. And I work this in and I can sneak this on there. Hopefully you can see what I just did. So it held that backing plate in place. Now I can do the same thing on the bottom. After I pick my tool off the ground, I'm gonna push on one of the threads so I can push against it. I should get a nut ready. Okay, this one's got some spring pressure behind it because of the fuel lines. And I'm trying to do it on film, so it's a little trickier. I'm pushing against it, starting that bolt. And let's get all of these started. We're not gonna tighten anything until all of this stuff is back together. I don't typically grease this portion. I know I just told you to grease all the brass inserts, but I don't usually do these. I've never had a problem with these come back apart. So we're gonna stop there with that for a second. Let's have a peek in here. You can see how that fuel line is coming up toward the top. That's okay. So if I push in a little bit more on the top here. Okay, so that's where this backing plate started to fall back in. You can see that nut's completely gone. That wasn't gonna allow this to slide down in like it needs to. Let's just have a peek at it there. So I don't have a problem with that. Like you can see it in the gaslit. I'd rather not have any bends in it, right? So right now we just have one motion that goes up and down, no kinks in it. You can see the fuel line in there comes straight up, no kinks, and then down. You can see, well, that one's got a bit of a loop, but it is what it is. So we could twist this a couple times, pull it back out and twist it, and then it would pull this down further like it did in the original tank. But I would rather have it like this. You're not gonna be poking stuff down in there. I guess if you're at a gas station, you could maybe catch that, but I don't think so. So what we're gonna do, same trick, I'm gonna put my screwdriver on the backing plate, just a really thin, regular head flathead screwdriver. And is that one? Yeah, okay. So we're gonna, it's so important to do that because I am pushing pretty hard right now to try to get this to line up. Okay, there's one. I think Tom's starting mowers outside, so apologize for the mower noise in the background. Can you use one of your fingers, Braxton, and push in on that fuel pump for me? Push in the middle. Yeah, there you go. Just like right there. Perfect. Yep, push in. Just need a little bit more to catch some threads. Okay, threads are caught, and now we're, again, same thing. We're gonna put these other ones in. I'm gonna give you guys one tidbit that I've never shared on any video ever with the beta stuff. So all 8 of my bolts are tight. I've never shared this, but I do this on almost every 4-stroke we sell. It's a 3C's tech tip, and I can't give them all away because then you guys wouldn't buy bikes here. So sometimes on the top of this plastic fuel line, we see a little bit of gas leak when the bikes are new. There'll be like a little, not even a drip, but just gets wet up here. And so what I like to do is I take my fuel line crimpers. You can see they've got like a nice sharp tip on them. I'll grab this upper lip right here. If I can get my finger in here. Now these ones do look a little bit tighter than normal, which is good. And I grab it and I just give it like a little bit of a pinch. It's gonna be hard to tell on film that I'm doing it. Just a little bit, like right there. Doesn't need much. I'm not trying to break the clamp. I already got it pretty good. I don't need to do much more, but I'm trying to demonstrate for you guys what I do. So I crimped it a little bit more right there, a little bit tighter. That's all it takes. So again, it's a 3C's tech tip. Got to be careful because other dealers watch my videos. So what we're gonna do is we need to insert this so that way the prong goes upright. Can you back out just a little bit? Just to kind of show the tank. Yeah. If we put it in wrong, right, we'd be not doing good. We want it to go in just like this. And I'm gonna put just a little bit of grease around there. And on the O-ring itself there, I'm gonna slide that in. Again, these bobbers are super tight fitting. And I told you I like to grease the bolts into brass inserts. So I take a little bit of grease, rub it out on the threads here, almost on, Braxton's used to this on all of his race bikes at home. We do that just to make sure that when we go to take it back apart, it's gonna come apart. I was just making sure that felt okay. Are we hitting something in there? It almost feels like that little fuel light. Yeah, okay, interesting. So how do I show this? So you can see in here, there's plastic nubs where these inserts are in the back side. Can we zoom in? Where am I trying to show you guys? See those nubs down there? Right there? That's funny. So one of them is hitting this. So I'm gonna do this on live. There, I may have messed with your fuel level a little bit, but guess what? It wasn't gonna work at all. Okay, so much better. Now the bolt holes are lining up and it's not hitting the tab. So we're just gonna put these 2 bolts in. Okay, in this plastic bag, you had your directions, a bunch of stickers, our new fuel cap. Now you guys are not gonna need this because this is for the older models that had the map switch in the tank. It's already up on the bar. So this was a map switch relocation. And then I don't use those either, just a chunk of rubber. And then we'll go over to the bike right now and we'll get the mount set on there. So, while you had this apart, if you wanted, you could dielectric grease some of this. Everything looks really good, tucked out of the way. And you can see we got our 2 connectors, they're still there, and our fuel line. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna bring the tank in. I'm not gonna push down on it. I'm gonna switch sides with you, Bricks. So right here, we're gonna look down in here. You always do this reversed order. So this is our low fuel light. In a minute, I might mess with that depending on how it needs to sit. It might be like on the frame when it shouldn't be. We got our fuel pump power. We'll connect this guy back up here. And then we just kind of tuck this guy. This is our fuel line, just kind of around the edge of the tank. And I'm pushing down on the tank real quick too. Everything kind of has to come down into its home the way we want it to. And right there you can see everything is happy. Try to get this perfectly lined up and going straight. So that's clicked back in, and now we can get our mount on the top. So out of the original tank, we have the rubber bushing in the top spacer. Now keep in mind, the one that's supplied goes on the bottom, right? So we've got our longer bolt that they supplied. It's an Allen key. It's like a 4. Just kind of insert it there, get it set in there, and we're just gonna kind of, none of this is gonna be tight yet, but see how perfectly that lined up right there? And we got our 2 greased bolts. We're gonna slide these in. I think this is where I'm going to end this video. I'm not going to tighten this down. These have to stay kind of loose. Because what I like to do is I like to get the shrouds back on the bike and then tighten the shrouds down into the radiators. Because sometimes it'll pull this tank a little bit further forward like that. So if you get the shrouds tight first, this has a lot of flexibility in it. If you tightened it to where it's all the way forward, then it's pulling the tank back when it doesn't need to. All right, guys, thank you so much for watching. Again, Jared and Braxton from 3Cs. We are currently the largest beta dealer in the country. Thank you guys so much for supporting us and choosing us. If you want a new beta, we want to be your dealer. We come to every GNCC, so whatever corner of the East Coast you live in, we might be in your area. We head to Kentucky next weekend, so if you want a bike in Kentucky, we'll bring you down one. Again, if you guys are buying your beta parts online, please choose 3Cs on the beta website. It helps us get to the races. Every month, it really helps. So again, Jared at 3Cs. Enjoy the ride. See you on the trail.